how did we get on the gay talk right away? That's all right.
We've talked about a lot of things already, I think.
We digress into other subjects all the time, and we kick them back to the normal topic or the topic we were going to talk about. So what was the question you asked earlier?
Okay, so let's break it down. Let's open it wide up. America. Who are we now? What are we now?
Yeah, that's a deep question, John. That's like looking into our hearts. It's like looking deep in there. And that brings me to what I wanted to talk about. Kind of goes back to our first podcast about perception, about how your own perception shapes so much. And we were talking about how people's perceptions have changed and how we're dealing with Donald Trump being elected.
Donald Trump.
And it's always Trump. We can't not talk about him. So I had.
But we're going to try not to. We're going to talk about Trump. But on the other hand, we're not going to be too Trumped out, because our first one we did a lot on Trump, right?
We did, but we're going to talk about him every time because that's just how it's going to go.
Yeah, but we're also, it's for people who are tuning in and going, wait a second, these guys aren't just going to be on the Trump parade. We're going to talk about Donald Trump, but we're also aware that there's a lot more to life than that.
Yes.
There's a lot more to life.
That's one
than
little
Trump.
spot out of the larger conversation.
So what is America now?
I would say a false narrative of who we are and what we are. There's the information we're getting and that we're processing is being prepackaged, or it's being distorted from its meaning. And I think that's where we're at right now, is that the information we're seeing is I don't want to say bad information, but I would say that it's being processed in order to lead us to a conclusion that we wouldn't come up if we just had the raw data.
What is the DNA of America? What makes America America?
It's a great question.
All right, then let's break it down even more.
It's because
3 words that describe America. You go, then I'll go.
red, white, blue. I took it from him. All right, what is it?
So, freedom,
Yeah.
consumer,
Yeah.
and aggressive.
Yes. Yeah. Freedom, consumer, aggressive. Yeah, it is. So,
Are you still going to go with the red, white, and blue?
no. All right. From my perspective, I would say we're not where we came from. If you look at a quarter, you pull out a quarter, and on the quarter there's the 3 traits of America. Like in France, it's liberty, equality, or which is equal, and fraternity or something. And on a quarter, there's liberty, there's e pluribus unum, and there is. You have a quarter? Oh, I got one right here.
Boom. He's
So
got
liberty, which is freedom, e pluribus unum, which is out of many one. So you take wherever you come from, you leave your, I don't want to say culture, but you do leave it behind to a point, and you become an American. And then what's the last one? Let's see. In God we trust. That's like the 3 points. So we've always been a crazy religious nation. That's what we were founded on.
Definitely. I love that. That was... thank you.
That was
sure.
that was profound.
Yes. What was the second?
I stole that. All my ideas I've actually stolen from somebody else. Dennis Prager, thank you.
There's a nod. I love that. So the second one, I can't even pronounce what you said. What was it?
E pluribus unum. I think it's Latin, and it means plural, out of plural to one, out of many one.
So does that mean, is that a welcome, come one, come all to people from other countries?
I think it is, but I think that where it's changed now is that we don't have one culture, or nobody is assimilating to anything, and our own culture is fractured so much.
Okay, so that is who is America now. Our own culture is fractured so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, our own culture is fractured so much, and as we accept new people in, we're not being integrated into America. We're setting up little tiny something else, not a similar culture, not shared values, and that's where we're at. Is the culture is fractured into two parts. Like, you could call it left or right or whatever, Republican, Democrat. I don't even think that applies anymore, because the labels don't mean anything, because I don't even know how much common ground is in Republican and Democrats now. You've got Bernie-crats against Hillary, and Trump gutted the Republican Party in like 6 months, and so I don't know if I don't know what's actually, I don't know what's what either. I just know it's fractured. What do you think it is?
What do I think what is?
America is now.
Well, for me, I look at it and I think we really came here and we had a lot of room. We came here, we were the new land, and we said, you know what, as long as we have minimal rules and we have as many people coming as possible, come one, come all, minimal rules, be aggressive, and make babies. Make babies, we're America.
And make fortune. That's what you said about the consumer, and that's always been a part of, like, we're always like, let's build this fucking building 6,000 stories tall. That's kind of like Donald Trump, like, build this gigantic empire just for the sake of it, and that's America.
Oh, definitely.
Conquer the land, slaughter all the people in the way who get in the way, and then build an empire. And actually, it almost seems like we've spread it out, or we're deciding if we're going to keep. I mean, it seems like we have shit going on in so many places. We got, how many wars are fought in the last 2 decades?
No, I don't even know.
Yeah, we lost track.
I don't
We
even
don't
pay
even
attention.
think about it anymore.
Yeah, and like, I look at it as when America, as we understood it growing up, really up until the year 2000, let's just say. Up until that point, it worked because we had all this space to grow, we had all this room, and we grew. And we didn't think about anything, we just went full speed ahead saying we want more, we want it now, and we want to make babies, man. We want to make lots of babies.
John is always about making babies.
Yeah, that's it.
Making babies.
Making babies. So, and then all of a sudden we got to the certain point where we needed to slow down.
Well, I think September, just like you said, 2000 was like the last spot. We had Y2K, and then the internet, and then September 11th, 2001 changed. I think that was the turning point, John. I think you're right. I think that was the turning. Maybe for our generation, that's the turning point. Is that changed you had to rethink everything.
And that's where America lost its identity, because at that point we said, wait a second, what people are telling us to slow down, but that's not America. But that's what we kind of needed to do. First things first, I'm going to say this: I love America. I love America. There's freedom here, and that you can't deny. Anybody who comes from another country, pretty much anybody who's not from America, who lives in America, says, I believe in the American the American dream. They believe in it. People who are from America are questioning it. It's crazy. I do know that America was very much a consumer society. We had lots of freedom. You could be whoever you wanted to be. And then around 2000, we needed to slow down, but that's not America. And we started to have this division at this rapid pace.
No, I agree. It's a surprise. We have a similar shared experience, and the big turning points were both on the same page of what's at least where we're at. Like, we realize that we are confused as shit about what the future holds, and where do we go from here, and what does it all mean.
Yeah.
And that's I think this is the podcast too. We get to talk it out. We get to sound our ideas, our perception off of our sounding board, off of the interwebs. The interwebs gives us feedback. Actually, this is probably where the future is going to. crowdsourcing ideas, crowdsourcing reality to make a new reality.
Yeah, and like safe zones where everybody can just hug and tell little stories
I
to
don't
each
think
other.
so, because the internet is ruthless. It's like a pit bull that wasn't taken care of, John. It rips your throat out when it doesn't like you and kills stuff.
Damn it.
We're kind of stuck.
We're kind of stuck. And, so what do we do? Can we reverse it? And does it need to be reversed?
Yes, and it does need to be not reversed, but going forward, we need to have at least this is how I believe we need to move forward. We need to share each other's perspectives and understand it and see how they're shaped. I think that is the new.
But you're not a millennial.
No, but I think.
But that's what millennials think. Maybe, or maybe I don't.
I don't know.
Yeah, but they're really more about kind of shared values, kind of taking everything into perspective. Don't judge me. Let me be me. But let's have this shared.
I don't know if I believe that. I think you have to understand and then decide. Understand the different values and then decide if you want to destroy the other people. Like that's kind of what it's coming to.
Kind of.
Not the other people. I misspoke there. The other the ideas. What is our value? What's important, and then the stuff that is getting in the way, or the ideas that don't work or that are causing the problems need to be defeated. I don't know.
That's the thing is right here, we're talking about it and we don't know.
Yeah,
I mean that's
true.
The thing is, and probably anybody who's listening to this is going, nah, and you can find your flaw in whatever somebody's stating it. Because I think we all know that we're on a train that's on a crash course, and we don't know if it's 2 weeks from now or 1,000 years from now. But people kind of look at it and say, wait a second, something's out of control. You can tell me ideas for how we get it back, but I don't think people believe that there's ways to really get it back on track. But they do believe they want it back to the way it was before, and they want to believe in those ideas. But could be kind of how Trump won, is people said, okay, you got Kasich over here talking about things that actually sound like they make sense, but making sense doesn't make sense to me right now. That doesn't make sense to me. What makes sense to me is somebody who's saying, she's an old fat woman, I hate her. You hate her too. So everyone hates her.
No,
who's here? Who hates her with me? Like that's what he was doing, and people were like, "Oh, I hate her."
Everybody hated her
because they didn't want to hear ideas that they could poke holes in. They wanted to hear things that validated their beliefs, and their beliefs are very basic.
Yeah, I agree. People did. They wanted to validate their beliefs, and so I say the way forward is to analyze our own beliefs and see how they're shaped and see what's making those beliefs. How did we come to where we're at personally?
It's millennial talk, man. You're a millennial.
Am I a millennial?
No, you're not a millennial. What the? I don't get it. How did you become a millennial on me?
All right,
you've been on the internet way too much.
I probably have. I just had a baby, so I've been reading a lot and conspiracy stuff, and there's all kinds of. So let's go to the spiring. That's way more fun. Actually, we're gonna probably just cut what we said like a way off, and let's go right to the spiring.
When we listen to it again, I think we're gonna like it. Yeah.
We might. I don't know, but we always just try and be honest. We try and sound stuff off.
We would never listen to our own podcast.
I listened to the last podcast. We said we weren't going to listen to it. I listened to it like 5 times.
Don't say shit like that.
I'm telling the truth. That's what I said. I'm going to blow people's minds with the truth, John.
Yeah, I put it on the internet, and there was too much traffic, and I couldn't listen to it.
Really?
No, I'm lying. I'm lying out of my teeth. I'm very good at that. There it is again.
Right,
I should never do that.
The spiring. All right.
Spiring. Chapter 2. Spiring. What's a spiring? Is that like a cock ring?
It is like similar to one of those rings.
Because Johnny Cochran was one of my favorite lawyers.
He was great. If the glove doesn't fit, you got to quit. I mean, that's actually a perfect example of how humans are flawed in their perception. If something rhymes, we remember it.